Okay, I figured I'd just do a quick early fall garden update here in Central Florida. As you can see, we'll start with my squash bed. I planted these from seed about a month ago. This is an Ahabok Korean squash, and I didn't realize that it sent out these vines, but you can see the first ones are almost ready. I think they're supposed to be harvested between 6 and 8 inches. So that one probably just has another day. And then these are desert zucchini. And I just harvested the first 3 yesterday. A lot of male and female blooms right now. See if I can get a shot of, here's a zucchini that's pretty much ready. Could harvest it at this size, or wait one more day, let it get a little bit bigger. See some bees down in there. I keep lemon, or holy basil, some people call it lemon basil, in the garden year round, and that keeps all the pollinators here when we're kind of between growing seasons. So this is 5 plants right here. You can see the Ahabok vines coming out this way. I'm having to kind of move them around. We've had a lot of rain, 3 inches in the last 2 days, so everything's really marshy right here. So some of these leaves are starting to get a bunch of tiny holes in them, and I'll probably have to start spraying some BT and neem oil and some of the organic sprays that I use here pretty soon. Over here, it's still really early for cucumbers. I put some seeds in just to see if I could get a little jump start, but I'm probably still a month early. It's September 9th right now, and really these shouldn't be going till October. A bunch of habaneros ripening every day. I just harvested about 8 or 9 off this plant yesterday. Peanuts are still kind of doing their thing over here. Probably going to leave those in until October and then harvest those and then use this bed for my greens. I usually grow about 6 or 7 different types of lettuce and kale. And then the tomato plants, I do everything from seed, and I just planted these seedlings about a week ago. With all the rain, some are doing okay, some not as well. This is an Everglades tomato. It's a Florida native. It makes really small, like smaller than cherry-sized tomatoes. They're really good. And then I've got a couple beefsteak variety that I'm trying this year that I've never grown before. You can see it's already got some kind of blight on the leaves from all this rain. Over here I've got the Super Sweet 100s, which is a cherry tomato. It's a hybrid variety. These have done really well for me in the past, so I planted 2 of those this year. Cherokee Purple, it's the second time I'm trying it. First time didn't work out great, and as you can see, I assume all the rain, this one just fell over and it's dead. So that's why I keep extras up here. So I've got an extra beefsteak and an extra Cherokee Purple to replace that one with. And then I usually just throw a couple more seeds in when I start pulling these out, just in case something crazy happens and I lose a bunch of them. I've got some more tomato seedlings starting down here. The Everglades are just starting up as well. And then if I don't need them, I just give them away or compost them. Got some cilantro I just started from seed. Put those under the shade cloth or in the shade somewhere. Starting some new cayenne pepper seeds. Some jalapeno plants. I have a bunch of these hot peppers growing already, but I always like to have some at different life cycles, because the pepper plants do kind of get old and produce less as they get older, especially the jalapenos. So this is a jalapeno, 2 jalapeno plants that are about I would say, a year and a half old now. This is a ghost pepper plant. And then these are habaneros. I just pulled a bunch of them off yesterday, so most of these are not quite ripe yet, but you get an idea of what they look like here. They go from orange and then they turn more of a red, at least this variety. And then I just take them and put them in a gallon bag and put them in the freezer until I'm ready to make hot sauce. You can see we've got some jalapenos that are ready to harvest here. This early in the season when it's still so hot, they don't seem to produce very large peppers. And then as it goes on, as the season goes on, they start getting larger. And I still have the shade cloth up because we've just had some really hot, like 93, 94 degree days. So I'll take that off once we start cooling off a little bit. Then my in-ground row, the watermelon is still just kind of starting out. I put a couple of those jalapeno seedlings over here, but the rain was just too much in the heat, so I'm gonna wait to replant those until a few more weeks. This is one of the jalapeno in-ground row plants that I had done as kind of a test to see how they did not under the shade cloth. Definitely has not produced much over the summer. You can see it's got a few, but nothing crazy. Some bell peppers I just planted. Butternut squash, acorn squash seedlings that have not quite, or seeds that have not quite germinated yet. Some basil. And then over here, I still have some of these noodle beans that are coming in. They really like the heat, so I planted these during the summer. You just cut them up and they taste like a green bean when you cut them up. They're really good. And then I've got some Blue Lake, more like traditional green beans that are just starting to come up. So I'll probably pull up the noodle beans here in a day or two and then give them room. Got some old bell pepper plants from last season. I'm just kind of doing it as an experiment to see if they'll come back this year. And that's about it for now. So today I've got to replace that tomato plant that fell over. Probably wait until maybe tomorrow when it dries up a little bit, and then probably do another update here in a couple weeks.